Set, go. That's it. Push it. Wide feet. Get it to mom. All right, guys. So this is my first YouTube video. I've never made one before. And, essentially what's going on, we're going to make a sled. We're going to make a sled for football. We're going to make a sled so my 10-year-old son can go ahead and start, practicing in the front yard a little bit more than us just holding the pad. And this way he's got, something he can push. So we're going to make a single-man sled. And, I started looking it up online and realized, like, man, these things are expensive. And, I didn't want to go ahead and spend, $1,000. I saw some that were like $4,000. And I didn't want to go ahead and just spend that. I mean, he's 10 years old. Okay. But we can build a good sled. And so I figured, I'm like, you know what? I wonder if there's anything in our garage that I have just lying around, because I'm always doing just a couple projects here and there. And I realized, you know what? I've got everything I need to build this. I've got everything I need in my garage. I got everything I need in my house. We've got football pads already as far as those cylinder pads, and we've got some shields that we can go ahead and utilize. And so, my son and I, we're going to go ahead and build this, and we're going to see how long it actually takes. So right now it is 6:10, and we're going to be able to do this while we're filming. And I'm going to keep stopping the film, starting the film, and we'll see how this goes. All right, so first things first, pardon the garage. We got a couple things going on here. But here's what we have. We got some of those. I got some more pads in the shed. But wanted to realize that I didn't have to go out and spend a ton of money to build this stuff. Many of you guys may have some scrap lumber in the yard. And I watched the video, saw one guy build this out of 2x6. You see, I've got just a piece of 2x6 that's pressure treated right there. I've got a piece of that right there, but that's not enough to build a sled out of, so I'm not going to be able to do that. I have some 2x2 pressure treated that I cut off of the 2x6, just little scrap pieces, right? I've got some regular pine wood here, but that's not pressure treated, and so I didn't want to use that. But what I did have, I just pulled it around from the shed. I do have one of these. Okay, this is a 4x4. I'm going to go ahead and measure it out here. And, I've got a 4x4 pressure treated that I think I'm going to be able to use that for the sleigh, or for the sled. I can use that for the legs there that gets pushed. So let's go see if that works. This 4x4 here, I just measured it out. It's just over 10 feet. Now, I've got a bunch of tools in the garage. Okay, I know many people probably don't have a bunch of tools, and that's okay. But you don't have to buy a bunch of tools. What you can do, if you've got a 4x4, that's great. Honestly, I think maybe the 2x6 pressure treated might be cheaper, and it would probably be just as good. So you don't have to get the 4x4 pressure treated. You could do a 2x6 pressure treated, 10-foot length. And what you see I did here, I put this at a 45-degree angle. Now, if you don't have a miter saw, you can just have Home Depot or Lowe's or one of your local hardware stores go ahead and cut the wood for you. I believe you get 1 or 2 cuts for free there. Anyway, so don't go wasting your money and buying the tool when you only need a couple cuts. But you can go ahead and get one board, and let's go ahead and get it cut. If you guys notice, I cut it, it's the same length. When I cut it to 45, it leaves these, just kind of opening up. And so why I want that, if they're pushing and he lifts up, it gives them an opportunity to keep pushing as he lifts. Now with that, we look at the angle, I am debating to cut a little bit more off, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to let it be for now. And once I build everything, if I have to trim it up a little bit, then we'll figure it out once we start pushing it. Right now, I'm going to keep it at the 45 because I think that's still going to be enough to get enough traction as you push. I may not have to adjust that. But if we do, just so you know, if you're pushing, you feel that as you're lifting it up, you're still snagging, just go ahead and trim it just a little bit more at a deeper angle. And what you would just use a regular circular saw for that. And just flip it up on its side and use a circular saw. To cut that, you don't need the miter saw. This leftover 2x6 in the garage. measured out to being 71 inches. So I cut it 35 and a half, just cut it in half, just to make it easy for me. So it's gonna be about 3 feet wide here. And essentially the idea, this pad is gonna sit right on here. So I'm gonna build a brace behind it to also hold this in that I can strap it to. I'm putting the second brace in the back so it doesn't move. And I'll probably put a third brace right here or some type of platform that could be stood on as well. Or like what I'm gonna do, you'll see I'll put a bunch of dirt. It's cheap, just get a bunch of topsoil, 40-pound topsoil bags you can throw on top of here, or you can have someone stand on it to give it extra weight for whoever's pushing it. So right now, I cut these 35.5 inches, I'm just screwing them in end to end, and then a little bit back so it doesn't spread out, it's got a little extra support. Okay, so here's what I want, and Hunter, if you can take a look at this. Hunter's my son, by the way. I built a little platform here, and if you notice, the only reason why this has an extra gap here, I would suggest putting a third piece of wood right in here. And this is just, again, just a strip that I'd cut off of a 2x6 a long time ago. This is scrap wood. I made all this scrap wood. All these little plywood sheets, it's from other projects that I had done. Just had some scrap wood around. So it doesn't have to be a certain depth. The reason why I have this, number one, it will hold either a person. See, I could stand on this. I'm a big guy, and this weight, if you can see right down here, Hunter, it holds me just fine, okay? Now, what I'm also gonna put on here is mainly topsoil bags. We're gonna be able to stack topsoil bags on here. We're gonna be able to handle this. But what I've got right here, I've got a 2x4x8, okay? Again, just left over in the garage. I'm gonna place this right here. Now I'm gonna screw in the bottom, and then what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna build just little braces, support braces going across, okay? So it holds it from falling this way. But I'm gonna screw it in the bottom, right here. This is what's gonna hold in place the bag. Now, what's gonna happen when you push it, just little screws at the bottom, even if I put 2 or 3 screws down there into this 2x6 board, it would push right out. So what I have to do, I have to build a brace going down. I'm gonna build an angle brace coming in here, so when you push, it actually gives it a significant support. So I'm gonna build a little brace here, but that's what I've built so far. Okay, and let's go ahead and see how this holds up, and we'll start back up after I put this together. All right, guys, and part of my hair and everything, I've been swimming pool earlier today, decided to build this on the whim. It is 7:19, so it took us an hour. And I had my 3-year-old running around, my 2-year-old running around, grabbing tools, grabbing screws and stuff as I'm chasing them. So you probably could have done this in a lot less time than it took me. However, I can't flip it around. Hold on one sec. Hey, however, if you look at these screws, here's what I use, okay? Just 3.5 carpenter screws. Okay, it's got the star bit. And I like to use those. I think they're a little bit more sturdier. Now, if you notice here, my wife pointed out right away, she's like, man, that's a little crooked. Listen, I built this in an hour, and I'm just trying to see. There's probably gonna be some corrections. I'm gonna paint this, gonna make it look nice. I put the bag on top. So here's what we use. We use the 4x4s. We cut them to length, okay? And and I had the measurement earlier. And you can use any measurement. You can use a 2x6 pressure treated. This is all this wood. These screws I had on hand. I didn't have to cut any plywood. Those were all scrap woods. The only thing I cut up a 2x4, cut the 4x4, cut those little scrap pieces, but all I did was cut it to length, cut the angles on it. Now you've noticed here's a brace I put in. I thought I was gonna have to put some horizontal bracing here, but I don't need to. This right here is a handle. So when you stand on it, you can hold on, okay, and it can be pushed. Now, this looks pretty solid here, okay. Oh man, it kind of looks, I might have to put it on so it doesn't look like so much like a cross. But that's supposed to be handlebars, okay. But that's essentially the sled. Let's see how this works. I'm gonna have my son put on some pads, and we're gonna try this out.
Push the sled all the way, Mom.
Push the sled all the way, Mom. How old are you, Hunter?
10.
10 years old. Okay. Down. Set, go. That's it. Push it. Wider feet. Get it to mom. Good job. Okay, Hunter, now we're changing things up. Mommy's on there. Okay. Now, Hunter, you're going to take this, push it to that tree, okay?
Small one?
That small tree, yeah. Okay, down. Set, go. Push, push. Let's see if you get to the tree. Push harder, buddy. Come on, get low, get low. Wider base, wider base. Yes, lean into it. Okay, that's good. Okay, you see here, that might be a little bit too much, which is fine. Okay, we can work up to it. That's a lot of, that's a lot of extra weight because the system itself fairly heavy. You see the 2- and 3-year-old coming. Like I said, they've been stealing my tools as I'm building this. But what we could do, because the first one was really easy. Is that right, Hunter? Okay, so what we could do next, we can go ahead and put on just some dirt bags. I mean, everybody can do that. I mean, when I say dirt bag, I mean that topsoil bags, like 40 pounds a piece, and just slowly add on until you get the right weight for yourself. I mean, this is not meant to be done. And let me flip this camera around here. This is not meant to be done for a significant amount of cost. I mean, everything here I had in my garage. Now, I have some more things, and probably most people. I had the miter saw. If you don't have it, that's fine. Take your measurements, get Home Depot to do it, or you don't need a miter saw. You can do all of these cuts with a circular saw. Okay, and just a little skill saw, circular saw. They're not expensive. All these pieces of lumber I had laying around. A lot of people have extra lumber around, and if you don't, you can build it for very inexpensive. You need a platform. Okay, you've got the 4x4s, or get a 2x6. You can do the same thing. Cut it in half. Couple bracing pieces and a piece of plywood, or you don't even need the plywood. You can just put more bracing steps. Get a couple pressure treated woods, a couple 2x6s, and you can build all this out of 2x6s and 2x4s. It's not going to cost very much. A couple pieces of lumber, a box of 2.5-inch screws. Sometimes you may have to grind the screw if it went too deep off of it. And then we have these blocking pads. Hunter, stop pushing that, please. We have these blocking pads that, again, right here, these Gorilla pads, we like them, but you don't have to get the Gorilla pad either. You can go on Amazon, you can go to Play It Again Sports, you can go a couple different places, pick up some of these pads, and it's going to be great for your youth athlete for you. You can build this, very inexpensive, a great quarantine blocking drill as you're waiting for season, and you can build this quick. Okay, and if you don't have a blocking pad, get some type of cushion pad, some type of soft material. If you have a shield, if you've got anything, if you notice, these are just strapped down. If you don't have them, maybe your youth league or somebody can let you use one of them. Or again, I would scour the internet. I'm sure you can find these pretty easily. Some type of shield or something where you can get underneath and utilize this to get proper hand placement, proper foot placement as they try to waddle through their blocks. You want to make sure as they fire off, they're staying low enough, and they're working on that. I've got the straps at a certain level because I want his helmet, because we're teaching drive blocking with this. And if you want to teach shoulder blocking, you can teach shoulder blocking with this too. But we're teaching drive blocking, and I want his helmet right at that strap, underneath the Gorilla label and at the top of that red strap there. So I have those straps at a certain placement there, but it forces their hands to stay in. Okay, but that's all I've got. This is our first video I've ever made. It is a warm day outside, and we decided to do this on a whim. We're just practicing some football drills in the yard. I'm like, it would be fun. Let's get a one-person sled built. And luckily enough, I just had a bunch of stuff in my garage and shed. So thanks, guys.